Alright, hello YouTube, welcome to another reaction video. What? I know I haven't done one of these in a while. I apologize for no face cam as well, I just didn't feel like doing it today. But we are here to react to this video by Penguin0, aka Charlie, aka Moist Critical, I believe. I'm not too sure, I haven't watched this guy really at all. The only thing I know about him is the little tidbits and snippets from Omni's channel that I've seen. And I know he's really big, of course, but yeah, someone sent me this and said that, he talks about Yu Yu Hakusho live action, so I figured, well, hey, it pertains to us, so I might as well react to it and, steal some content. Yeah, I get another reaction video for you guys because it's been a while since I've done one of these. But yeah, really quickly before I get into the video, I just want to say that, it's crazy that I've been seeing a lot of Yu Yu Hakusho live action videos and like people talk about it all of a sudden, and I don't know if it's just me because I feel like I've been doing these anime live action videos for so long now. I just haven't seen anyone else on the internet talk about them, and I still don't see anyone talk about anime live action projects nearly as much as I do on my channel, since I've made my entire channel based on anime live action projects, not just Yu Yu Hakusho, not just the One Piece ones, not just the Netflix ones, but all of them, right? But for some reason, I just feel like recently I've seen so many Yu Yu Hakusho Netflix reactions and talk about the Netflix Yu Yu Hakusho live action project specifically. I'm just like, I mean, I do know Yu Yu Hakusho is very beloved, but it's just kind of crazy to see how now everyone's paying attention to anime live action. I guess it's just Yu Yu Hakusho, I don't know. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of videos circulating about this Yu Yu Hakusho Netflix adaptation recently, and everyone's just been saying, honestly, kind of the same thing, like, oh, it looks bad, blah, blah, blah. But like, honestly, all they do is say it looks bad because it's not the anime. And to be honest, like, it's irritating, it's annoying. That's why I made my channel based on anime live action, to talk more in depth about why certain things don't work and certain things can. And I mean, you guys know, if you want to check out more of my channel, feel free to do so. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people do this time and time again, not just on YouTube, but in general. Oh yeah, anime live action, it sucks, it can't be done, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Heard it 1,000 times over, and every single excuse is, it's not the anime, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's so irritating. People are dumb, they don't understand filmmaking, they don't understand a lot of what goes into filmmaking, and they don't understand anime and art in general. So it's irritating, and people, don't really have anything good to say, but hopefully this guy has something good to say. So yeah, we'll see. Without further ado, let's get into it.
This isn't satire, it's not April Fools. With a straight face, they announced a live-action Yu Yu Hakusho adaptation.
Bruh, this video was made in July 23rd, literally yesterday. But yeah, they announced the Yu Yu Hakusho show from Netflix way long ago. Like, I think I made the video when they announced the Yu Yu Hakusho live action, like, God, it's been a year now, actually. It's been over a year, actually, since that first video that I made about the Yu Yu Hakusho live action announcement. And then it was like 6 months ago since we got the first leak of like the cast members. So, I mean, hell, it's been a while now, man.
This was one of like the big ones for me growing up. I even still own the goddamn Dark Tournament Saga on DVD. I never even
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is a pretty good anime. I mean, I can't lie. Definitely up there for me as well.
Opened it because I cherished it so much. So you can imagine how upset I was when I saw the announcement.
Obviously, he's not thrilled about this Netflix adaptation that he just now heard about, even though it's, been announced for a while. Which, by the way, if you guys want to keep up to date with all the anime live action news and updates, feel free to subscribe, just saying. But yeah, we get the point. But is he gonna talk about any like valid, actual like criticisms about why he's not excited?
It doesn't make any sense why they keep doing this. I don't understand. This is like straight out of SpongeBob. How many times do you have to teach you this lesson, old man? All of Netflix adaptations absolutely blow ass. They're all...
That's not true. That's not true. Everyone who says that all Netflix adaptations are bad, what about Alice in Borderland?
They also have a live-action One Piece around the corner, which I can't really opine on since it hasn't come out, but I can't imagine it's going to...
Wait, so he just said I can't really opine on because it hasn't come out. I mean, neither has the Yu Yu Hakusho live action. It hasn't come out. What do you mean, bro? Huh?
...to be successful, and now a live-action Yu Yu Hakusho. Why? When they adapt these shows, excluding One Piece since that hasn't come out yet, so I don't know for sure, but like Cowboy
Bro,
Bebop and Resident.
again, he said it hasn't come out yet. Dude, neither has the Yu Yu Hakusho. What do you mean? And like, if you guys want to say, oh, well, the cast pictures have come out, I mean, the cast pictures have come out also for the One Piece live action. So I don't know what he's talking about, why he's making such a difference between the One Piece live action and Yu Yu Hakusho live action. If anything, the One Piece live action is probably way further along in progress of actually coming out as opposed to the Yu Yu Hakusho live action. So I don't know what this guy's talking about right now.
They don't even bother trying to get the characters or the story or even basic elements of it to translate to the live action. So why adapt it in the first place? What do you accomplish there? All you do is piss off the built-in fan base, and you lose interest from people that don't know the franchise because the production here isn't good enough to stand on its own two legs. You borrowed a name from a popular franchise and did a shitty job of adapting it, so you lose that fan base, and since it's a shitty adaptation, you lose people that don't even know the franchise in the first place because it's just bad.
Well, here's the thing, right? So he said why adapt it in the first place. Well, one, I mean, there are a ton of reasons why a franchise can get a live action adaptation, and there are plenty of good reasons and plenty of bad reasons. This guy, he was kind of going into a lot of the bad reasons. Yes, sometimes Hollywood can just stick their nose in things, not really know what they're doing, and make a shitty adaptation with a nice brand attached to it, right? But other times, and specifically the good parts of a live action adaptation can be to give more backstory to the characters that maybe didn't get it in the actual source material, or, you know, just expand on other things that we didn't get, right? Or, you know, just giving more content to your favorite series, your favorite show, like for example, Death Note. Death Note as an anime is only 37 episodes, and it's one of my favorite animes of all time. So when these live action adaptations of Death Note get announced, I'm kind of excited. Part of me is scared that it's not going to be that good, but the other part of me is kind of excited because I get more Death Note, you know what I mean? And Death Note now becomes in the realm of relevancy again, which is something that's always really cool because, you know, sometimes when your favorite anime comes out and it had its run, you know what I mean? That's it, it's gone, it's done. People don't really talk about it anymore. If it's not like One Piece, you know, running for 1,000 episodes, then, you know, some people may have never even heard of it, right? And obviously Death Note isn't the greatest example of that because Death Note's still pretty popular, but you get the picture. There's a lot of anime out there that no one's ever heard of because they came out, they had their run, and that's it, right? So for those anime, getting a live action could be pretty beneficial for them. Like I made a video talking about how I would fix the Death Note live action Netflix movie that came out in 2017, and I said, hey, one good idea would be cool if like maybe they made the entire story based on Misa or something like that, you know what I mean? And if they had made the movie and marketed it as a extra side story of Misa, then, you know, that's a good reason to make a live action adaptation. That's a beneficial thing for the franchise. You know, Misa, something we could have got more of, a character that can definitely be expanded on and that people actually do enjoy. So yeah, while a lot of the times Hollywood does make these live action adaptations with not the best intentions, I disagree, and I do think there are good intentions that can come from live action adaptations of anime. I mean, there's still people out there that think all anime is hentai, all anime is only for kids or whatever, that wouldn't be caught dead watching an anime ever, but would, you know, watch live action films or like a TV show. And so one of the good reasons to make an anime live action adaptation could just be simply for the fact that, like, for those people that are still too close-minded to actually give anime a try, you know, maybe they'll watch a live action show, which is something that they would normally watch, and then maybe if they end up liking that live action show, they might think, oh, you know, this is based on an anime, I might actually, and then it could maybe get them to try anime, which I think is definitely a positive thing. I mean, I've been around people that were too close-minded to try anime and always hating on people that liked anime for most of my life. So, you know, if live action can actually get people into watching anime, that's definitely a good thing and a good reason for it to exist.
Historically, all live-action anime adaptations have been horrible, except for like a few. The one that pops into my head right away is Alita Battle Angel, but that was all.
Okay. He's talking about Battle Angel. Okay, interesting. I actually did like Battle Angel a lot. So I'm very surprised that he's actually mentioning this and, you know, talking about it. Okay. I mean, yeah, he is acknowledging a good anime live action project. I think so as well.
Also a $200 million budget over the course of many years to make that masterpiece, and it absolutely slapped. But I promise you, Netflix
Okay, so I mean, he's saying it slapped. Okay, interesting.
isn't committing that big nut-busting budget to the live-action Yu Yu Hakusho. Looks like someone did a fun Photoshop project that Netflix slapped their logo on.
I agree. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys have seen my latest video where I talked about the Yu Yu Hakusho live-action cast member reveal, yeah, I kind of lost all hope in this project, to be honest. After the cast members and seeing how they look, I'm really not impressed. And I'm editing a video right now that actually talks talks more in depth about why that is, because it's not just like, oh, I see the cast members, they look bad, and then I think, oh, it's gonna be bad, because I feel like that's what every YouTuber and every anime YouTuber and Yu Yu Hakusho fan out there is like saying right now, but there's way more to it. And obviously me knowing a lot about filmmaking and kind of studying these projects and seeing how they're gonna turn out and each news and everything that gets revealed, and like I'm paying attention to all of it, I have a little bit more to say. I think there's a lot more that was revealed other than just the look of the cast members, and in that video you guys are gonna see what I'm talking about. I will admit the Yu Yu Hakusho live action does look very disappointing and does not look good by any means. So I'm not trying to disagree with this guy in that regards. I do think, yeah, the Yu Yu Hakusho live action looks pretty terrible now. And part of the reason why that is I think that now that we've gotten the cast revealed, it seems as though it is more of a Japanese live action adaptation as opposed to a big budget Hollywood one. There is kind of a huge gap between American ones and Japanese ones, and there's a lot to kind of discuss about it. So again, I highly recommend checking out my other video where I talk more in depth about the Yu Yu Hakusho live action and why I have become more disappointed. But I agree, I do think that the Yu Yu Hakusho live action isn't going to be good and kind of looks disappointing now. But I mean, if this guy hasn't even seen the cast or doesn't know too much about it, I'm curious to see what he's gonna say of why he's not excited, you know?
They also teased what the core cast is.
Okay, so he does actually look at the cast and everything, so let's see what he's got to say about that. I've already made a video talking about what I thought of the cast, so definitely check that out if you guys are interested. But yeah, let's see what he has to say.
Is going to look like in live action. So you have Yusuke, Kurama, Kuwabara, and Hiei, and it's not even to like cosplay level. And again, that's just the problem with going live action with an anime. You can't really translate an anime character to human beings because then it just looks goofy and silly, and it just doesn't usually work. And you know what else isn't working?
Well, the thing is, translating an anime character to live action, it can be tricky. Very tricky, but that's not to say it can't be done right. I mean, again, I said this in many other videos. You know, people said this exact same thing when it comes to superheroes and comic books and all that. And, you know, look where we are now. Like, we're getting all these Marvel shows, and I mean, Comic-Con just happened, and, you know, they announced Phase 5, and like everyone's super excited for like all these Marvel shows and everything. But you know what I mean? We never would have got there if we were still in the phase of like shitty superhero movies that definitely were a thing. Let's not forget, they were a thing. So yeah.
Netflix is actually just dwindling in popularity. It's been hemorrhaging subscribers, making terrible business decisions, and the stock plummeted recently, but it's been recovering a bit. But I think that's solely because of Stranger Things. But now once people finish that, what do they have left? What do they have to watch on Netflix now? They occasionally have some great shows on there, but it's very few and far between, and I really do think that is contributing heavily to people abandoning it. It's starting to throw it to the side.
Okay, well, I can't really say too much on the whole Netflix thing because to be honest, I don't have a Netflix subscription. I kind of got rid of mine because, well, they had like a few shows, but you know, it just wasn't really worth me paying for every month. So I was like, whatever. But yeah, I was looking forward to like a lot of anime that Netflix had, like Baki and JoJo's and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like kind of useless to keep my subscription just to wait for possibly whenever those seasons of those anime drop. And yeah, so I guess I can somewhat agree with him. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's actually related to why they're trying to adapt all these anime and make live action adaptations of them. I mean, he mentioned One Piece earlier, and you know, we know that Oda is heavily involved in the One Piece live action series, so I would hope that they have a little bit more budget for that one and put a little bit more effort into that one. But yeah, I can also kind of agree. I don't think that they're gonna put too much budget into this Yu Yu Hakusho live action. I thought that they were with some of the news that I talked about in like earlier videos, like regarding its announcement and everything initially, but I don't know, it's not looking too good.
Their originals just aren't strong enough to keep anybody hooked on the service, so people just leave it behind. And I really think Netflix is in a downward trajectory here, and hopefully they figure it out, but this is not a good sign if they just announced live action Yu Yu Hakusho. It demonstrates a clear lack of understanding of the problem. Nobody wants Netflix adaptations of their favorite properties because they ruin it every time. They bastardize it. They parade it through the streets tarred and feathered. By the time Netflix releases the adaptation, what we get is just an insult, a slap in the face. Nobody is asking for Netflix to take properties and adapt them for a Netflix original. And I don't think there's anyone in the world that wants live action anime. I don't think there's ever really been a huge community of anime enthusiasts that are like, can't wait for the live action, this needs the live action right now. Nobody wants it. Nobody.
Okay, well, I guess we got a lot to talk about here. Okay, so he was talking about how no one really wants anime live action, and I don't know, I feel like looking at a lot of the One Piece live action stuff, it seems like a lot of the fans are really excited, and the cast and crew is certainly excited making it. So from all the One Piece fans that I've talked about, I feel like a lot of them are actually excited for the live action project, and including Oda himself, who, you know, is the creator of One Piece and who's heavily involved in the live action series. He seems also extremely excited, so I wouldn't say that there's no one that wants it, right? Just talking about people in general, you know, taking fan bases aside, people that want like anime live action. I mean, here's the thing, right? I actually just recently rewatched Dr. Stone, and I like the analogy that Senku made. He was like, you know, when it comes to like science and like figuring stuff out, like there's always going to be someone that's just dumb enough to try everything and just, you know, want to try anything until, you know, you can make something out of it, right? And I kind of feel like that's the case here, right? I think initially, like some of the earlier anime live action projects, like Dragon Ball Evolution and stuff, like Hollywood just really didn't know what they were doing back then. They maybe heard about Dragon Ball and they were like, oh, let's make a movie out of this and, you know, whatever. But nowadays, especially like with the amount of different anime live action projects that are out there and announced and being made as we speak, One Punch Man, like Attack on Titan, I mean, there's just so many, My Hero Academia. There's so many anime live action projects that are being made right now, coming out in the future from Hollywood and everything. So I feel like nowadays it's actually more about just wanting to make a good anime live action project, and because anime is so popular, you know, Hollywood is really trying to make it happen. And to be honest, you know, we can sit here and be like, oh, like they're all gonna suck, or we can actually provide criticism. But you know, I feel like there's a lot of things that come into play with anime live action, and you know, diversity is one thing, and you know, I feel like a lot of things just prevent the PR from ever being good, which in turn prevents the live action project from ever really doing good from the majority's opinion. But even if you look at the Cowboy Bebop live action, it has a lot of fans. People are like, oh, like Cowboy Bebop was trash, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, like if you actually look, there is a fan base for it. And there are a lot of fans out there that actually do appreciate it. So to say that no one likes anime live action, I think is kind of dumb. And also, I'm actually going to give this time to give a shout out to a lot of the YouTube creators out there that are doing good things for anime live action. There's this one guy that does special effects all by himself, and he is amazingly talented with a lot of the stuff that he does. I've been watching a lot of his videos, and just seeing him go to work on like a lot of these things is incredible. He just did like a Zenitsu one, and just seeing him like go to work is so crazy. He's so talented, and honestly, like when I watch his videos, I get excited because I think, wow, if one guy can do this, imagine a team of special effects artists that actually like anime and that work in filmmaking, and imagine having like a good amount of people working with this same guy's quality, if not better, and like have a team like that working on anime live action. Like we could really see some really cool stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, I want to give some attention to him, and you know, what he does is amazing, but he wouldn't do what he does if he didn't want anime live action, you know, if he didn't want to actually see it done right. You know, yeah, there's definitely people out there that want to see it happen, that want to see it done right. Also want to give some attention to this other YouTuber that I watch who does a lot of anime hairstyles and does them professionally. I haven't watched them too much, but from what I have seen, I like just watching them do hairstyles of anime and like experimenting with different stuff, you know, and just kind of seeing them make a anime hairstyle come to life, come to live action. You know, if I was making a anime live action project, these are like people I would definitely want to like hire, you know what I mean? These people wouldn't do what they do if they didn't want to make anime into reality, into live action. And kind of the same thing with cosplayers. I mean, I know cosplayers is more like I cosplay to a convention to like have fun and stuff, but if you look at a lot of professional cosplayers, like a lot of them, once they get a really nice photographer and like, you know, a sick backdrop, like it almost looks like the anime in real life, in reality. So, you know, shout out to all the photographers and all the editors that do all the cosplay special like photography and everything. Like those are pretty sick, and you know, it can be really cool sometimes. And yeah, it might be just to look cool and be cool photography, but I feel like there's definitely an audience out there that does want to see anime live action done right, and it can be done right, and a lot of those people are working to make those things done right. And with the amount of support that they get, you can already tell that there is an audience out there that recognizes that live action anime can be done right. So to say that no one wants it and that it can't be done, I disagree with that.
And yet, for some reason, they keep trying live action anime. And it looks like they're going to continue to do this till the end of time. Until they finally run out of...
Yeah, they are. They are going to continue. That's the thing. That's the main reason why I started really making a lot of videos for my YouTube channel. One of the first videos I ever made when I talked about anime live action is that we can sit here and complain about, oh, like, anime live action, it sucks, blah, 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 blah. But that's not gonna stop Hollywood from wanting to do this. Like, again, there are so many live action projects of anime being made right now as we speak that I'm sure most of you guys have never heard of because you're not subscribed to me. But if you guys are subbed to me, then you know I put out a video talking about all of them. There's a ton of live action projects being made right now. Us bitching about it isn't gonna stop them, bro. Isn't gonna stop them at all. Hollywood is too rich to give a fuck about what we think. So they're going to be made. So we can sit here and bitch about it, but it's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna make them give up. So why not try and actually provide criticism or actually take the steps to make good anime live action? Which again, most of my YouTube channel is built on taking those steps and talking about different things that we need to talk about to get to that point of having good anime live action. So
there used to be a time not that long ago where pretty much any show you wanted to watch, Netflix would have it. But now, anytime you search for a show like, say, Courage the Cowardly Dog, you'll search it up and it'll say, we know you want Courage, we don't have that shit, that's somewhere else. And you'd be like, okay, so they don't have Courage. Like, they actually put on the worst ideas imaginable and put money behind it as a Netflix original. And there is no better example of that than Cuties, which honestly should have had Netflix thoroughly investigated for that shit.
Okay, so all I can say about this is, I do agree, Netflix catalog is kind of ass. And I do think that, yeah, they used to have some good stuff, but I mean, he does make a valid point with the fact that, you know, in this day and age, there are a ton of other streaming services now. Disney Plus, Hulu. You know, really there was only Netflix and Hulu, like, for the longest, right? And now we got HBO Max and there's just so many competitors out there now that I feel like, yeah, what Netflix had is just kind of gone now. You know, I do remember when I was subscribed to Netflix, one of the most annoying things was the fact that they would have shows and then they would be gone like the next month, and I'm like, what the heck, you know? So yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I also agree with the fact that they do have some really stupid ideas. I think more than the anime live action ideas are the actual anime that they greenlight, such as, what was it, like Yokio or something, where Jaden Smith was like the main character or whatever. Oh my god, that was like so infuriating for me, just knowing that an anime-esque kind of show, because I'm not even gonna call that an anime, I'm just gonna say an anime inspired show with Jaden Smith existed. I'm like, bro, just stop. Like, why, Netflix, why? So I do agree, they have some really terrible ideas. I don't even know what Cuties is, but I mean, it sounds terrible. I can agree. I do think that they definitely have had some really terrible ideas. But I think Cowboy Bebop wasn't a bad idea. Unironically, Cowboy Bebop actually kind of made sense just because it's a anime that is really not popular in Japan and is actually only really popular in the West. So making a live action out of it kind of made sense. Apparently a lot of people didn't like it, but there's still a lot of fans for it. And I still have yet to check it out, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah.
Netflix is just making all of the worst decisions over the last couple years or so, and it doesn't seem like they're getting it. And now they're taking a property that I love, Yu Yu Hakusho, and most likely are going to ruin it. If this show ends up being good, I will be beyond surprised. I will be beyond shocked if this show is even somewhat redeemable, even somewhat enjoyable. I would be elated, honestly. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this, and that's about it. So yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. I mean, I guess technically, you know, he did kind of say, like, if this show is any good, I'll be surprised, because I was more so hopeful in the beginning before the cast members got revealed. I feel like just an initial announcement of a Yu Yu Hakusho live action project is not something to be like hateful about, you know? Like, now I can see why you would be hateful because of the cast members and whatnot. But in the initial announcement, I was actually, you know, like kind of excited because I'm like, oh, well, this could be done really well, you know, you never know. And that's why I kind of don't like when people talk about anime live action, because they really don't know what they're talking about most of the time, and it's just like, oh hey, this got announced, it's gonna be bad because it's not the anime, blah 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 blah. And it's like, there's so many different things behind it that go into, you know, the project, the filmmaking. Like, you know, maybe they're not trying to be the anime, maybe that's why it's called an adaptation and not, you know, a re-release. You know, if you want the anime, just watch the anime, you know. But in adaptation, things adapt in different forms of media and things don't adapt in different forms of media. But an adaptation is all about making it just work. And you know, I feel like there are a ton of things that Hollywood does right and does wrong. There's a ton of do's and don'ts in the world of filmmaking, especially when it comes to adaptations and especially when it comes to anime adaptations. A lot of those things Hollywood doesn't know. A lot of those things most filmmakers, I feel like, don't know, because guess what? People in film don't like anime. But if you want to know more about those do's and don'ts, feel free to check out my channel where I talk all about anime, live action filmmaking, and everything in between, and why I think it is certainly possible to get good anime live action adaptations, and eventually we'll get there. But I think we'll get there even faster if, you know, maybe your boy was in charge of some of the project, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, seemingly that's pretty much it for this guy's video, and that's pretty much all I have to say. I think I talked enough about some of the things that he went in. Overall, I guess he did have some valid points, not really talking about the live action itself, but just going into things about like Netflix in general and how they've been making pretty bad decisions over the past few years, and like money loss and everything like that. I never really considered that to be a factor in the grand scheme of like them announcing a lot of anime live action adaptations. Of course, my channel just kind of covers the actual live action adaptations themselves, but you know, I will say that talking about their money loss and everything like that, because I do remember hearing about Netflix having like a huge money loss thing and everything. I think, you know, mentioning stuff like that is, you know, a valid point. You know, I'll give him that. I'll give him that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. That helps me out a ton. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in the next video.